Am I the hole for breastfeeding my son around my father-in-law despite him getting upset? I recently had my first child, and I've been breastfeeding. My baby doesn't like being covered while nursing, so I don't use one. I never thought much about it. I'm just feeding my child, but my husband's parents have made it clear they don't approve. They've commented before about how I don't need to be doing it in public, how it's distracting, and how I should wait until I can do it privately at home. The latest incident happened when my father-in-law came over. I was wearing a normal top, nothing revealing, but I do have a bigger chest, so I guess a little skin was visible. I overheard him making a comment to my husband about it, and I noticed him glancing at me a few times. It made me uncomfortable, but I brushed it off. I know my in-laws don't like me nursing around them. My husband had even asked me before if I could take it to my room when they're over, just to avoid conflict. Most of the time, I do. That day, I had already been going up and down the stairs to nurse in my room, but I was exhausted. My baby was hungry again, and everyone was outside, so I just sat down in the living room to feed him. Then my father-in-law walked in. He saw me nursing, let out an annoyed huff, and just stood there. A moment later, my mother-in-law and husband followed him into the room. My mother-in-law looked right at me and said, "Asterisk, you don't have to do that here, do you?" Asterisk. I froze. I didn't know how to respond. My father-in-law, standing in front of me, muttered under his breath, "Asterisk, I'll just start walking around with my junk out, huh?" Asterisk. My mother-in-law motioned toward my chest and told me to take it to my room so her husband wouldn't have to see it all hanging out. I just sat there, my baby latched on, feeling small and exposed, wishing I had just gone to my room like always. They were staring at me, like they were waiting for me to get up and leave. My husband finally stepped in and got them to back off. They left the room with another huff, and after a few minutes, he brought me a glass of water. But the damage was done. The rest of the visit, I quietly went to my room to nurse. They've made comments like this before, and honestly, it's hurt my confidence, especially when it comes to breastfeeding in public. I didn't mean to make anyone uncomfortable. I was just trying to feed my son.